Hey, what's up guys, Coop here, and today we're going to be generally talking about the new character models that have been kind of dropped for mainly the leaders of the Warlords of Draenor expansion. So, thank God, they finally dropped some alpha notes, so now we can finally look at the character models, and since it's really popular on my channel, for some odd reason, me talking about the character models, so, let's hop to it. We've got four. We've got Thrall, Durotan, Grommash, or Grum, and Velen. So, let's hop to it. Alright, the first thing we're going to look at is Grommash. For you guys who don't know, this is Grum. This is pretty much Garrosh's father. And one of the first things I really like about this character model is, first off, just how much he kind of looks like Garrosh now. Like, they've kind of really built him to kind of have this nice little build that kind of looks similar to Garrosh, like his death stare, his kind of yellow eyes, his kind of shoulders and everything. And in general, I really like his armor. Like, you can obviously, like, point him out really well compared to other guys. Like, when you see a character of interest, like Velen, Varian, all that, I think it's very good to see kind of, like, their iconic armor or an iconic, like, hairband or something like that. Something that really depicts them out from the other crowd. And I really like Grommash's model because it does kind of have this very similar kind of essence compared to Garrosh, and you know, you could clearly tell that, you know, this is his father, and he kind of has this unique look to himself that kind of makes him stand out probably from the other orcs around him. So overall, I am very happy to see this character model. I would have to give this one an A+, honestly, in my book. Now, due to there being a lot of kind of orc models, I wanted to kind of get Velen in a little bit early. And one of the things I like about looking at Velen is you can kind of get an understanding of what they're going to do with the Draenei model. Because this Velen's model is so, like, more advanced than the other ones, I would have to say that I really like the way that this looks, because this kind of gives us a preview of what the actual male Draenei are going to look like, and I really like how he looks. I mean, just like his beard looks like it's nicely rendered, his robes, and he kind of glows. He's got these cool, like, darkening lines and shadows on him. I mean, overall, he looks pretty badass. I mean, Velen has been one of my favorite characters for all time, and I feel like in World of Warcraft they don't give him enough light, and it's kind of cool to see him get this another character model that's a little bit more unique, a little bit shaded correctly, a little bit. It makes him stand out a lot more, and it kind of gives us some hope for how they're going to do with the Draenei model in the future. And I really am glad to see that they are giving the Draenei some love. I mean, I have a Draenei. I love playing Draenei. It really looks badass, and this really kind of gets me excited for the future to see what they're going to do with the Draenei. And I wanted to show you guys Durotan. This is Thrall's father, for you guys who don't know. And in general, I kind of like the way he looks too, because he's kind of like one of the leaders of kind of his like clan. He isn't. I don't think he's the exact leader. Don't quote me on that, lore-wise. But in general, you can definitely tell like what type of clan he's from. I think he's from the Frost Wolf, if I believe right. I mean, obviously with the giant wolf on his head. And I kind of like having these little iconic things around their heads and all that. So my guess is that a lot of orcs won't have this kind of head shroud that he has, so it kind of makes him stick out a little bit. I overall like his kind of gear. He's got some really good shading, like shadows. Like if you check around his arms and like armpits and all that, like it really gives a nice little shadowing look to him, and he overall looks pretty sweet. I mean, I'm really excited for these models. My guess is that this will probably not be like the low quality or the medium quality. I'm guessing that they're showing these pictures in ultra, judging by how detailed these are. But overall, I have to say I really like the shading that's going on with these character models, and they're definitely making iconic parts to their kind of armor and everything that make them very unique compared to the other pretty much of their own race. And lastly, the big green man himself, Forall. Now, I found it kind of interesting. When I think of Thrall, I used to always think of him with his dreadlocks and everything. Even before Burning Crusade, like he always had these like weird like long hair and everything. And it's kind of weird to see him kind of put it in a ponytail. I don't know how I feel about it, but I do kind of like the fact that he's now got like plate armor and all that. And like, one of the things that they kind of talked about at BlizzCon was they really wanted to make Forall kind of go back to his roots, kind of go back to the warrior that they really needed back in the Horde and all that. So I think this is kind of a clear transformation. He's not wearing the hippie clothes anymore. He's kind of tied up his hair, kind of put on some plate gear, and he's ready to go like screw up some people. He's ready to go in, venture off, and freaking beat anybody with his fists and his father's doom hammer, and he is ready to pretty much go. And I'm happy to see that Forall is kind of going through this change. I was kind of tired of him looking like a hippie, you know what I mean? He still has some of the hippie clothes on, so I think this is going to be a subtle change throughout the expansion, and it kind of tells the story along its own. That's one of the things I like about, once again, iconic pieces. This shows that Forall is slowly but dearly changing his path. He is slowly not becoming a shaman anymore, and he's slowly becoming the warrior, or I guess enhancement shaman that he really needs to be. So, in general, I really like how it's going, and I really like how the gear and the items on them and the facial structures kind of relate and kind of tell the story of the characters alone. I know I'm nerding out a little bit too much on these character models, but in general, I'm always been an artsy-fartsy guy when it comes to character models. In the comments below, tell me what you guys think. I really enjoy these, so be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.